Well, hello traders and investors. I'm L.A. Little. This is your daily NeoTA wrap. Take a look at these markets. We're doing it from a Neoclassical perspective. That means we're looking at supply and demand on the charts. We're asking ourselves what happened today and what does it tell us about the coming ones. Do a show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday, broadcast at 4:10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube and under the channel L.A. Little. If you want to subscribe, just reach up in the right-hand corner. Anytime I push public content, you'll get a notification. As far as what happened today, down day on Wall Street. We had some Trump comments that sent the dollar reeling. Here's the dollar here down almost 1%, and by the end of the day, you had pullbacks right across the board, S&P, NASDAQ, but still, they don't want to give much up. But you know what we got? We got some resets finally. We got them on the IWM, or actually on the Russell. We also got them across a number of the sectors. And if you've been watching me for the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about the MTTFs. I've been talking about the need for resets. And until we get those, right, we're not going to get a leg up that is probably sustainable. And that's pretty much what it's been, right? We've been grinding along here for a couple, 3 weeks now. And now that you have some resets, the key question is going to be, do you get a deeper pullback or not? And you got to read these charts to decide when to pull the trigger and extend that exposure, because I do expect we're going to go upside before it's all over. We had more silver and gold laughter, if you will. Same thing with the bonds. In other words, the things that have been getting beat up, they're the ones that are profiting from this dollar sinking. I don't know that that's going to last. But then again, it's gone a little bit farther than I thought it would go in terms of the resiliency of those counter trend trades, and they're still hanging in there doing their thing. Let's look at the markets. Let's look at the charts, starting here with the S&P 500. Now the S&P, it's already got its reset. It's just waiting for everything else to reset and allow things to move higher. You got a range up here. It's still sitting in that range, even though it has the bullish trend right now. Hasn't been able to break out of the range, but it's just hanging in there. A little bit more volume today, but again, you're not testing anything, so it doesn't really mean anything. If we look at the rest of these, let's go to the one that's extended now, which is the NDX. The NDX has been pushing higher for quite a while, and that one still has a little bit pullback today, but nothing major. Looks like we got a bad data bar. We got to get that fixed. IXIC, let's see what this one looks like. Also a pullback. Now, I didn't show it on the NDX, but what you're going to be looking for on all of these is what does it look like when it comes back to do the retest regen. Now, it's already done it once. This would be the second trip back. And you want to see how that plays out. That'll give you some idea of what's going on in the bigger picture. And the one that finally reset was the Russell. We've been waiting on this for I don't know how long. You got this trend that's been here, right? There's this consolidation. The swing point lows were here and here. Tonight you're going to get under them. You're going to reset the charts tomorrow. This high is 1347. You came into it once. That was last week. You're going to come into it again, it looks like, or at least it's going to attempt to. And again, these are going to be the key areas on the way back. Because the real question you're asking yourself here is what kind of reset are we going to get? In other words, are we going to get a deeper reset that comes down into this area where we had the last low? Or are we simply going to reset up here somewhere? It's a big difference in terms of how these charts set up and what happens afterwards. Now, you've had the huge push, right? Now you've had the long consolidation. It doesn't have to go lower. It could. That's what you have to measure tomorrow. This volume, not that big coming back. Of course, that swing point high doesn't have anything on it. These swing point lows didn't have anything either. Looks like this is going to be... I can't tell, actually. That one's too close, but either suspect or confirmed bearish tomorrow. If we look over at the dollar, now the dollar was what was really moving things today. So the currency markets were kind of driving the action. The dollar pulls back hard, pulls all the way back into this big volume bar back here, 25.90. You got to 25.91. I expect it's going to try and hit in there tomorrow, and we'll see how it reacts. Now, there's a lot happening on this chart. I'm not going to go into all the details. The mentors and I did it quite a bit this morning, and I saw that there was quite a bit of discussion in the channels with the members about the same thing. You got an ABCD structure here that's just about to complete. You have another potential nested one that could go farther, right? You also have, on the weekly chart, you've got some action over there. If we pull it over, you're coming into swing point highs. There's a lot happening here on this chart. And even though this could trade lower, it doesn't have to. In other words, this dollar could flip around and head right back the other way. Now, we're probably going to be stuck this week if you think about the fact that we've got inauguration, and the market doesn't have a lot of details. The dollar sold off today off of a Wall Street Journal article about Trump talking about trade issues and the potential that the dollar was overvalued. He said it with respect to the yuan. It actually got translated, at least by the market, into being against everything. And so you had the euro up, you had everything up. Let's take a quick look at those. Let me see if I'm curious if there was more volume on those. And it wasn't. So this to me doesn't look like it's going to have the carry potential. Yeah, we don't have big volumes coming into these in our proxy ETFs here. I'm going to look at the yen right quick, see what that one looks like. Now the yen actually looks a little bit different. It's got a little bit more volume coming in. And yeah, that one actually does have a little bit more volume. So the yen, I guess, could carry farther. Okay, so that's currencies. Now, when the currencies move, then of course you get the ox market. So you get like gold and silver and things like that moving, right? All of the commodities. If we look at, let me take a quick peek here at gold, because I saw gold was up again about 15 bucks today. So gold's now coming into, I've been saying this thing's going to turn. Well, if this don't turn it, I'm not sure what will. Got a doji up there, spike up, still got no volume coming back into what is a significant resistance. If you pull over the weekly charts, you can see it right here. These two swing point lows you're coming back into after 6 bars. I don't know about you, but that's not what I'd be playing to the long side. If I look at I'm curious of what the GDX did. Now, the GDX has been signaling that this is not going to make a move higher. We got a 23.35 number here. They closed 1 penny over it. They don't want to give it up either. Coming into the swing point low again after more than 6 bars. And you got the same thing happening here with this swing point low. So all things stacked up together to me look like this is a dangerous place to be playing long. One thing I did notice today, I don't track it that much in terms of tells, but this VIX could not rise even with the pullbacks in the markets. So I don't know if that tells you anything, because I've never seen a great correlation. But when I do see the VIX unable to rise on a down day, especially after a long time up, that does make me wonder, is this just a small pullback before we head higher? Let's quickly flip through the sectors here. I want to get a feel for these. Okay, so we're back here testing on the IBB into that lower range. Remember I talked about 2 ranges here? Well, you're back into the lower one. This is the demarcating bar. You get a range up there, you get a range down here, and you're back into the lower one. If this doesn't get right back up in there, then you try to go to the bottom side of that thing. The only place we had any strength today was the energy sector. I'm going to take a quick peek here at XLE. This one couldn't get any juice even off of that. I was talking about resets on the indexes. Well, you also got some on the sectors. Here's the reset on these 2 swing point lows on the XLF. XLI had already reset. That one actually held pretty well today. XLK just coming back in to do a bullish retest regen. Let's see what XLV looks like. That doesn't tell me anything. That one's just hanging there. It's testing a little bit. It's going to try and bounce, but I don't know if it will. XLY, And this one actually hung in there pretty good. Not bad. So that one's actually a positive. Let's see what the SOX did. That one's going to try and set up an ABCD structure down. Basic materials also could not move up or down. And so here on the majors, XLF looks like the one that gave us a reset. I know we saw some resets elsewhere in some of the other sectors. We've seen resets elsewhere previously. IOIT, still no reset there. Folks, we're getting close here to where we're going to get a move, a move set up, right, that's larger. First 2 weeks have really been sideways for the most part, banging up and down. If I'm reading these charts correctly, my expectation here is you got to be ready to pull the trigger on the long side when this setup does, in fact, give you the clues that you need. I'll be making those calls with the members over the next few days here as we evaluate how this takes place. If you're interested in what we do, you ought to come over and check us out. The membership stuff is here. You can check it all out and see what it's about. It's a intensive educational idea that we're parsing nowadays. We've changed more and more towards, let me educate you, let me teach you how to fish. If you really want to learn how to trade, if you really want to make money consistently, I don't know anybody else is going to teach you how to do it. We'll teach you how to do it. We're not going to just give you blind trades like most people. We'll also get to know who you are, answer your questions, and help you. If you're interested in that kind of service, then you really should check us out. And I've said before, it's a 2-for-1. Bring a friend, sign up. Two for one price if you bring a friend with you. That way we can train both of you at the same time, get you both started. And that way we can keep our costs down because it is fairly intensive in terms of getting people up and running on the site. That's it for tonight. I believe I've covered most of what I wanted to cover, and I believe we're going to see some potential buys coming up here pretty soon. Have a great one. See you. Bye.